rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host, Dirk God Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what's going on, folks? Dirk God Raven Mac here with you again. Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. This is our third week of a 7-week series. Again, 27 competitors will compete in this thing, staggered entry. You get a point for eliminating somebody either over the top rope, knocked to the floor, or pinning or submitting them. There's also bonus points for the final 4 people. 3 points for fourth, 5 points for third, 7 for second, and 10 for winning. Again, this is a 7-week series. We will be having 6 weeks here live. We're in our 3rd week now, and then after that 6th week, the 7th week, the top 7 point getters will come back. Here's our standings after 2 events. You can see Big John Fetterman at the top of the leaderboard there with 15 points. The last 2 presidents, President Joe Biden and Donald Trump, have 13 points each. Dr. Oz has 10, and Ted Cruz there at 8. And you can see some of the other faces in the standings so far. So let's go to the ring and get tonight's event started. I have some unfortunate news. I was told beforehand that we are having an entire Senate competition tonight, that it will be only senators or people related to the Senate involved. And you can see Tim Ryan is coming out to start this thing. That is the Democratic candidate for Senate spot in Ohio, and J.D. Vance. So we have the 2 men going after that Ohio senatorial seat. I apologize for my actions last week. I ran to the ring, entered myself into the discourse, and was promptly eliminated, thankfully. A shameful moment on my part. But J.D. Vance is just the anti-Dirk God Raven Mac. I can't stand that guy. He's propped up by Peter Thiel's money, fake Appalachian hillbilly heritage. He's just a wretched person who has no soul whatsoever. Tim Ryan's not great, but he at least seems a little bit more genuine to me than J.D. Vance. Of course, politics is not about being genuine at this point. It's about who gets the most money. And J.D. Vance has had a lot of money poured into that campaign to control that Senate seat in Ohio. Ryan off the top rope nails Vance, and we get a buzzer joining Vance and Ryan in the ring. And here he is, Big John Fetterman. He's senatorial candidate from just to the east, not too far east from Ohio there in Braddock, just right outside Pittsburgh. Big John Fetterman in that Senate race with Dr. Oz, one of the most heavily hyped, heavily watched, closely watched Senate seats, as the Democrats and Republicans are fighting for control of the Senate. Limitations of a 2-party system. Right now it's 50-50 with that tie-breaking vote going to the vice president. We get a buzzer. Fetterman's over the top rope, but he does not get knocked down. He's back in the ring, and Dr. Oz is coming out. So we have right now 4 Senate hopefuls, Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance in that hotly contested Ohio race, and Dr. Oz and John Fetterman in that hotly contested Pennsylvania race. Oz is staring at Fetterman there, giving him, and throws the mic over at him, and Fetterman nails Ryan. Our referees tonight, I did not mention President Biden is in there as a referee, as is the lady cop. Vance wearing those Scottish tartan tights, and Fetterman's over the top rope again, but nobody gets him, and now Ryan's out there with him, and Fetterman knocks Ryan off the apron. So Tim Ryan eliminated by John Fetterman, as Dianne Feinstein comes into the ring, that 3,000-year-old senator from California who has been somewhat not good memory, not good recall. A couple of very embarrassing moments with her in front of the mic. And she announced that she was going to resign after her term is up, but there's still another 2 years left on that. So she's not going anywhere anytime soon, as far as I know. Maybe I got that wrong, but that's what I heard, what I thought I read. And I'll be honest, I don't like keeping this. Well, we get a buzzer, and here comes Marco Rubio, Florida senator, two-term senator, up for re-election. I don't like following the discourse this closely. It's kind of painful, and being here on a Monday night to watch this. Dianne Feinstein kicks out at 2. Dr. Oz tried to pin her. Following discourse is a real pain in the ass. I actually hate it. Feel free to hit that Venmo, RavenMac23. Give me a little bit of something for my pain. Okay, well, we've got about to get a buzzer, so I'll wait for who we see come in next before I reset the field. And it's Val Demings. Val Demings, Marco Rubio's opponent in Florida, and recently just tore him open in that debate. With the polarization of the parties and the Republican Party becoming pretty insane, it's just made the debates more. Any debates have lost that civility they used to have, and it feeds to both sides, because both sides' supporters see that they want those sound bites of their leader. And Demings falls over the top rope and is out. Bob, my producer, Bob Dabalino, we're going to have to take a note there and have somebody figure out who gets the point for knocking her out. And there goes Rubio over the top rope, but he stays, he gets back in. Lindsey Graham coming out. Lindsey Graham is the next senator in there. So right now we have three Senate hopefuls in J.D. Vance, John Fetterman, and Dr. Oz, and 3 actual senators in Dianne Feinstein, Marco Rubio, and Lindsey Graham. So this is tonight's Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse, is the upper chamber of Congress. And there's a pin on Big John. Oz trying to get that pin. We get another buzzer. And Blake Masters, perhaps the worst possible type of human being, a venture capitalist. And there goes Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz tossed there by, look like Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio teaming up. But Blake Masters is a young firebrand Senate hopeful for Arizona, and he is a gross person, man. But it's Arizona, so to Arizonans, I'm sure he's not gross at all. He's probably really loved, and unfortunately with the Senate, when you get elected, it's almost like a lifetime appointment. Well, Lindsey Graham's not having anything of Blake Masters. Masters gets on that top rope in the corner, and Lindsey helps him to the floor. And here comes Raphael Warnock. This fella is, another hot contestant. And there goes J.D. Vance. Big John Fetterman tosses J.D. Vance right over that top rope. That was a nice maneuver. But Raphael Warnock, he's in this heated race with Herschel Walker, and just what a rough go he's had. He got elected in 2020, had the one election to finish a term, and then they had a runoff election beginning of the year, and that's what gave Democrats control of the Senate, so to speak, with the 50-50. And here comes Herschel Walker carrying that football trophy, and I'm sure he's going to go right at Raphael Warnock. But then Warnock, 2 years later, has this other heated contest, and there's so much money being poured into that Georgia race. Lindsey Graham almost beat Dianne Feinstein. Warnock and Walker are going at it, man. They are no love lost between those two. So we've got Fetterman, Herschel Walker, both candidates for Senate. We have Dianne Feinstein, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, and Raphael Warnock, who are all current senators. And we're about to get a buzzer. We'll see who comes out. Ron Johnson, Wisconsin senator, ultra-conservative, said some pretty wild things over the last few years, and he is in a heated race. And there's a pin, Dianne Feinstein pinned by Marco Rubio, so the 3,000-year-old senator from California is knocked out of this thing. But Ron Johnson is in a race with a younger candidate, Mandela Barnes. There could not be a more obvious opposition. An old white dude who says mildly racist things. Herschel Walker gets pinned in there. And then a younger black man as the opposition. Mandela Barnes is out here now. He's in it. So we seem to be having back-to-back candidates with Fetterman and Oz, Ryan and Vance, Rubio and Demings, Ron Johnson, Mandela Barnes. So and there was Lindsey Graham on the apron. He did not get down. Ron Johnson is up on that apron. Raphael Warnock just helps him on out. So that's it for Ron Johnson. Him and Herschel Walker are both staggering out there ringside. And we get a buzzer, and it's Evan McMullin. So Evan McMullin is a Senate hopeful in Utah, running as an independent, supported by Andrew Yang. Getting a lot of support from Andrew Yang. And there he goes on Fetterman. McMullin and Fetterman going at it. And Fetterman throws Mandela Barnes back. McMullin gets a stomp on Fetterman at that point. And we get a buzzer. And it's Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Another situation of an old, long-time senator, white senator, running against a black candidate, Charles Booker, who really probably should have been the candidate against Mitch McConnell 2 years ago, but Democratic Party has their way of taking people folks are excited about and burying them behind who was next in line. So Booker got set aside in 2020, but he gets his shot this year, 2 years after he was a firebrand impressing everybody. So Democratic Party could probably take a lesson from pro wrestling and put people in the top slots while they're hot. Speaking of folks that well, Lindsey Graham got tossed. I didn't see who tossed Lindsey Graham, but he is out. Speaking of folks who were once hot and did not get pushed when they were hot and are still out here, and that's Bernie Sanders. You should not have a man that old being the voice of progressive change, unless you haven't had any progressive change. So we've got a lot of fighting. There's a broom in there. I think Mandela Barnes brought that in. A couple microphones, a bunch of briefcases. Those briefcases are filled with lobbyist money. There's a sledgehammer in there. Marco Rubio going at Raphael Warnock. And here comes Mitt Romney, and he's bringing Singapore cane in. Long bamboo cane, and he just starts beating on people with that thing. So we've got a crowded field out there right now. I'm not even going to bother resetting it at the moment. It's crowded. Rand Paul gets an elbow there, and John Fetterman still going at it. Him and Mandela Barnes going at it. Raphael Warnock in there beating on Marco Rubio. Bernie Sanders and Mitt Romney's got that cane again, and he's going after Mandela Barnes. And it looks like we're about to get a buzzer. And Senator Joe Manchin, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, been quite a thorn in the side of the Democratic Party in terms of what they wanted to accomplish, and him and Bernie are going at it right away. It looks like we got 9 people in there right now. 9 or 10. 9 folks. six actual senators and 3 Senate hopefuls running for election this time. And Evan McMullin goes for a pin on Manchin, just a 1 count. And we've got a buzzer. Waiting to see who it is. Marco Rubio in the corner. Bernie Sanders knocks Marco Rubio out. So Bernie Sanders eliminates Marco Rubio, and it's Tim Scott. And Rand Paul got tossed. He got pinned by somebody in there. Did not see who it was. I was watching Tim Scott come down the aisle. Tim Scott, black Republican senator from South Carolina. A lot of frequent flyer miles because they send that man out anywhere that they want to have him campaigning and pretend the Republicans are not racist. Multiple pin attempts going on, and there is a pin. Joe Manchin pins John Fetterman. Cancels out John Fetterman. Joe Manchin does. So, big John Fetterman, he was our leader coming in tonight. Had a good showing. Here comes Ted Cruz. Cruz, of course, made it second place last week, got pinned by Donald Trump to end the event. So he got 7 bonus points last week. And him and Romney are teaming up with Raphael Warnock. And there's a pin in the ring. Tim Scott almost pinned by Joe Manchin. And now a pin on Bernie Sanders by Evan McMullin's only 2. Ted Cruz nails Bernie in the back, and Joe Manchin he's got a submission hold on Raphael Warnock, and he has got it cinched in. And there's a buzzer for Elizabeth Warren, but Raphael Warnock gives it up. What a move by Joe Manchin. And then there's a pin right there. Mandela Barnes got pinned. I believe that might have been Rand Paul. I did not see. But we have a couple quick eliminations. There was almost another as Evan McMullin gets 2 on Ted Cruz. So we have 1 Senate hopeful in Evan McMullin, and then we have a pack of senators. Bernie Sanders from New Hampshire, Mitt Romney, senator from Utah, Joe Manchin from West Virginia, Tim Scott from South Carolina, Ted Cruz from Texas, and Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. And you can say goodbye to Evan McMullin because he just got pinned. Mitt Romney asserting a little Utah clout there, getting rid of Evan McMullin, and here comes Hillary Clinton, former senator from New York, former Secretary of State, former presidential candidate, and they will not let she doesn't want anybody to forget her. She wants everybody to remember that if you did not vote for her in 2016, it is your fault. America is doomed. Not the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party, not all the things. And Hillary gets knocked out by Elizabeth Warren, so I couldn't even finish my rant there. Elizabeth Warren saved us from me having to rant further about Hillary. She is already gone, and let's hope she stays gone. We get a buzzer, and it's Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, we've got that other Kentucky senator in now, Mitch McConnell. Not sure, Bob, how many folks we have. I think we have 4 spots left, so 4 folks left. And everybody has come out has been a senator, current senator, or running for Senate this election cycle, or Hillary Clinton, who was former senator. So 1 person not involved in the current Senate or current Senate races. Romney got a pin on Elizabeth Warren, did not get she kicked out. We're getting another buzzer here. And it's Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, Senate leader for the Democrats. McConnell and Manchin and Mitt Romney were over there on the apron. It was a precarious situation. I'm not a big fan of Chuck Schumer, I will admit. And there's a pin. Tim Scott is eliminated. I think that might have been Schumer that pinned him. I haven't been the biggest fan of Chuck Schumer ever since he was a representative in the 90s. He's not a man of the people, but he is the Democratic leader. I am not a Democrat, absolutely not a Republican. Mitch McConnell over the top rope, staggering over there in the corner, but he gets back in. Absolutely not a Republican. And speaking of the things I have problems with, here comes Josh Hawley, and he is Not in a suit and tie like a lot of these guys, wearing a camouflage tank top and jean shorts. So it is jorts coming out. Josh Hawley, that young Missouri senator. And, you know, Hawley is one of those guys that folks have their eye on because, you know, once allegedly, if we stick to the way things are, Joe Manchin got picked in there. If we stick to the way things are, you can only be president twice. And that if Trump was to get reelected, he would only be able to serve one term. But let's be realistic. Nothing is going to stay the same. Like if Trump gets elected, he may not leave. But Josh Hawley is one of those men that folks are watching as being the next version of Trump. And Ron DeSantis is another one of those. And Blake Masters in Arizona could be that. And it's scary to think of what somebody, because let's face it, Donald Trump is a clown. And he has destroyed a lot of American institutions' false ideas of what they are just by being a clown. Imagine if somebody with like actual tact and intelligence and like the ability to do things had the access to the same tools that Trump did. It would be horrible. We kind of have to be thankful that as we've slipped into a fascist nation that we had a clown leading the parade. So Kyrsten Sinema came out while I was talking, and our last buzzer comes out, and it's Kamala Harris, vice president, who is the tiebreaker in the Senate. So, you know, when Ted Cruz got eliminated, I did not see who tossed him, but I think it was Josh Hawley, actually. So Ted Cruz is tossed over there on the far side. But when this, you know, when it was 50-50, it seemed that Kamala Harris was supposed to be getting all the tie-breaking votes, but Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, who is out there, they kind of messed that up, didn't go along. And I don't mind folks not voting along party lines. I think everybody should be independently spirited to some extent. But they have been quite an obstruction. It's a mess in there, folks. What do we have? I'm not even sure. Looks like 8 people. I see Kyrsten Sinema, Kamala Harris, Josh Hawley, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, and Bernie Sanders is still out there. So 7, is that right? And Elizabeth Warren. She is. Elizabeth Warren is still out there. Elizabeth Warren looks busted open, and Bernie is busted open and bleeding. Josh Hawley pinning Kyrsten Sinema, so Kyrsten Sinema's hopes for tonight were done in pretty quick. Mitt Romney trying to pin Hawley. So we are down to 7 now. 7, folks. 6 actual senators and the vice president. And Bernie is a bloody mess, and Elizabeth Warren is not looking too great either, and they're going at it. Kamala just drops Bernie right on his head. Mitch McConnell holding his neck, and he looks busted open. He's a bloody mess. Biden just cracks McConnell with that broom. Bernie just tossed Mitt Romney. So Bernie knocks Mitt Romney out on the far side. We are down to 6. 5 senators, 5 active senators, and the vice president. And everybody's looking beat up in there. Who will control the Senate discourse? Hawley just taking a breather over in the corner, catching his breath. Top rope's a dangerous place to be. And there's a pin on Kamala Harris. She kicks out. Pin on Elizabeth Warren, and she kicks out. Kamala drops. And there goes Mitch McConnell for the pin. I'm sorry, that's not Mitch McConnell. That's Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer pins Kamala Harris. And then drops her on her face. What is Chuck Schumer even doing? They're supposed to be working together out there. Signifiers of problems in the Democratic Party. So we are down to 5. Bernie Sanders, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Josh Hawley, and Elizabeth Warren. 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and an independent. Josh Hawley is swinging that bat in there and just nailing folks. Flips Elizabeth Warren. Bernie with the elbow to Hawley's knee. Now McConnell's got that broom, and he rolls Bernie up. And there's a 1 count only. Hawley tosses Elizabeth Warren. Now Hawley and Schumer are locked up. Power slam on Schumer. McConnell rolls up Bernie. That's 2 only. So after we get one more person knocked out, everybody left will be in the bonus section. Hawley with a 2 on Bernie kicks out. Elizabeth Warren helps him kick out there right at 2.5. Schumer and McConnell locked up. McConnell over the top rope. Elizabeth Warren knocks McConnell over the top rope. So we're down to our final 4. These 4 senators will all get bonus points tonight towards our 7-week series. So we've got Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, Josh Hawley, and Chuck Schumer. And Hawley and Warren over the top rope. Warren goes down. Bernie and Hawley are on that apron, but they both get back in. So Elizabeth Warren is out, and we are down to 3. Bernie with a devastating briefcase clothesline on Chuck Schumer, and now he's got him in a sleeper hold. Hawley just waiting for whatever happens next. And Hawley punches Bernie when he gets up. So 2 senators from the Northeast and then a Midwestern senator. Hawley going for the pin on Schumer and just a 2 count. Bernie looking a little groggy out there. He's been out there for quite a while. And Schumer and Bernie punching each other. They should be working together, you would think. Oh, Hawley just drops Schumer and drops Bernie, and Schumer hits him with an elbow afterwards. A big clothesline on Bernie by Schumer. Schumer needs to get his priorities straight, I think. Well, Bernie's going for the pin on Schumer. 1 count. And Bernie tosses Hawley and then falls. And all 3 of these men have been... Well, I say all 3, but Hawley's looking pretty fresh out there still. He's, and Schumer's not looking bad. Bernie's bloodied up, but the other 2 are fine. Abdominal stretch. Hawley nails Bernie. Kick with those brown Rockports backwards. Mule kick by Bernie. And Bernie tosses Schumer over the top rope. He does not go to the floor. But he's still staggering out there on that apron. And Hawley's over there. And Hawley helps him the rest of the way. So we're down to 2, the final 2. And it's a test of strength going on in there. Bernie's got Hawley in that test of strength. And now Hawley's coming back. And they continue to lock up. Punch to the face by Bernie. They run in each other, fall down. Hawley with a big suplex power slam. And now he rolls Bernie up. And there's a 2. And just a 2. Bernie kicks out at 2.5. Big kick to the face by Hawley. Punch by Bernie. He's still got a swing there. Another nice punch by Bernie, and they lock up. And Hawley falls as he throws Bernie down. He's back up, though. And, oh, devastating kick right to the chin. What a kick. Now he's got Bernie, and he slams him. And that's 2. And that's 3. Josh Hawley, folks. Josh Hawley with the win. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley getting the win. Not what I expected. Let's see the replay. You can see right here. Bernie is coming across. Takes that boot right to the chin. Hawley gets up. Slams him. 1, 2, 3. And there's your pin. So your standings tonight, or your results tonight, I should say. Josh Hawley with 15 points. He eliminated 5 people in there tonight. Bernie Sanders picked up 9 points. Chuck Schumer with 6. Elizabeth Warren with 5. Ted Cruz down there with 3. And you can see the rest in our standings after 3 events. Big John Fetterman's at the top of the scoreboard with 17 points. So what's going to happen is that 7th week, the top 27 point getters are going to enter in reverse order. So as it stands now, Fetterman would be the last man in on that 7th week for the fall series conclusion. Josh Hawley's at 15, Biden and Trump at 13, Ted Cruz, Dr. Oz, Bernie Sanders cracking the leaderboard, and Reply Guy Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. Once again, folks, this project and many other projects are supported by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. I hope you will consider supporting that and joining that. I've got a World Cup preview currently going on for the next few weeks as well. Monday Night Rumble and Discourse. I have a radio show I plug on there. Various forms of art and poetry I do as well. A bunch of shit. I do all types of shit. Anyways, this has been Monday Night Rumble, the Discourse. We will be back next week, I think. Next week, Halloween. I don't know if we'll have Monsters of the Discourse or what. What's the plan, Bob? Don't know. Okay. Well, we'll be back next week. I'll see you folks next week. As long as nothing happens. So long.